I don't know what else to think. And so I accepted that I wouldn't be able to go because, I had found out some things on the back end that didn't happen well at the service. So that for me, I felt like that was a sign. Like I didn't need to be there because I was in no shape to be, there with them, knowing that there was a bunch of stuff going on. So, um, with that, I just from that point I was always drinking or always drunk. Um, and it took a long time for me to get out of that. It took a long time for me to get out of that. But anyway, went to the painting with a twist, and it was awesome. That it was just it's relaxing. Dealing with trauma and things like that. When you do things like art, dancing, painting, singing, piano, anything that you can create or anything that you do um, to try to cope with that, like those things are very helpful. So I do a lot of painting, and I'm running myself into exhaustion. Like I post a lot of paintings, but it's still a whole bunch more because um, it's something that relaxes me. It takes my mind off my current situation or my current issues.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, just hearing you and everything that you speak about, I mean, I learned so much, and I'm just really honored to be able to do this interview with you, Carmela.
Thank
Um,
you.
absolutely, absolutely. I'm just really waiting for the book. When you're gonna
Oh
write your book? That's what I'm really waiting for here.
God. Man, I was talking to a friend yesterday, and I said, I know I got to write a book, but I want to make sure that when I do that, because that's a creative process as well, and when you're doing a creative process such as writing a book, you go through different stages, and you might get something out of it, different than what you've always thought. So I want to make sure that I'm not giving people a bitter testimony, a watered down testimony. I want to make sure that people have a full understanding um, of how to overcome. Because, with the way that the world is going today, like everybody, if you don't have God or if you don't have something that you can really hold on to and really trust in, you're going to go crazy. You're going to go crazy because it's so many different things that people are suffering from. It's so many different things that people are going through, and they're just walking around in pain. They just walking around in pain, and people don't understand. I used to really think like, yeah, me drinking, this is what's going to help. It didn't help me. It made things worse, not just my personal life becoming unmanageable, but they say in rehab, when you begin to do a drug or drink, that is where your mind that's where it's stuck at that place. Because instead of processing the normal things that you're going through, instead of processing that pain and not trying to numb it, you know what I'm saying? You are constantly numbing, constantly trying to make yourself feel good. We live in a very self-gratifying society. Everybody, only cares about what's good for them. And we got to come out of that because it's a we thing. It's a society, it's community, it's togetherness. You know, if everybody out walking around all broken and drunk and high and all messed up, we ain't gonna get anywhere.
That's
And
right.
I just want to share my art with the world, but it's not just about putting colors on a canvas. That's just the second thing. I want to be able to show people and let them know, like, if it wasn't for God and me just, really learning how to focus my mind on something positive, I would be messed up out here. I would be so messed up out here. My children, they keep me going. And I do want to write a book, but I want to make sure that I'm saying exactly what God would have for me to say to help these people. Um, and I've always known I had some type of calling on my life. I served several years in ministry. Um, I got ordained when I was like 26 or 27. I can't remember, somewhere around there. And for me, at that time, I'm thinking, like I thought when I was getting ready to get married, I'm like, a minister. I can't do that. But I did end up, going forth in ministry, and I was very successful at it. But it only lasted for 8 months because of a lot of circumstances that happened, and I really started to think, oh, these people fake, and these people this, and these people that, and instead of thinking like that, what I learned from my experience in the church is that, that's just a place for sick people. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to find no pastor that's perfect, no, clergy that's perfect. Nobody in the congregation is perfect, and they might be the main people to make you mad. And so I'm not going to say I walked away from my calling, but in terms of standing up and speaking in front of a congregation and being in the pulpit, that is what I walked away from, because I was not equipped to handle that specific calling on my life. So, I really had to understand and learn people and their thought processes, the way that people handle things, um, and be more accepting, because I felt like, well, we know all these scriptures. Why they don't know how to communicate? Why they don't know how to tell the truth? Or why they don't know how to, do the right thing, when we know all of these? We know how to break down Greek and Hebrew and all of that, but we don't know the fundamentals and what it really takes to operate in love. And it was a lot for me to handle. I couldn't do it. But I believe what God has done is offer me a second chance. And this is not your regular type of ministry, but this work that I am doing is ministry. I want to encourage other people to do art. I want to encourage other people to, learn how to set boundaries for themselves, learn how to deal with rejection, learn how to, communicate better with their kids. So it's a lot. It's a lot. People are trying to do classes already. And I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not ready to teach these classes and do all this stuff. Like, so it's definitely a lot. It's definitely.
Yeah, it's a process, and I remember we had spoke about some of the things that sooner or later you go. I would say probably find yourself doing part of your calling is just mentoring the young people who are around you. Not only first starting with your children, but there's just so many young ladies and men